Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for joining me. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell. That way, whenever I upload a new video, you will be the first to know and you won't miss out any opportunities. Now, did you know that the brain is unable to distinguish the difference between physical and emotional pain? Well, that's because in your mind, pain is pain, whether physical or emotional. And the brain's job is to inform you that something's wrong through this pain that you're feeling. So most times we don't even understand why we're feeling a certain way, but the brain is really just trying to tell you that you're in pain because of A, B, C, D, and you have to have that pain looked at. So in a way, the brain acts like a doctor, which diagnoses your symptoms and is trying to tell you exactly what is wrong. But most times it's really difficult to understand why you're feeling a certain way. And that's why when we're emotional, we are all over the place and we don't even know why we're feeling those emotions. Because of that, in today's video, I decided to share with you your emotions and what they're trying to tell you.
This is me, whether you like it or not. Quick to talk, but you do not do a lot. If I change, then it will be for the better. No apology, so don't expect a letter.
So the first emotion is fear. You know that feeling you get when you're about to do something that you're not really ready for and you don't know what the outcome would be? Or maybe you're watching a horror movie and you're really scared because you don't know which way it's going to go. That's basically your brain telling you that you're about to do something that you're not prepared for. So for example, if you're about to write an exam that you didn't study for, or you're about to go for a job interview that you're not prepared for, you will feel fear because your brain is trying to tell you that you're about to do something you never really prepared for. So if you do not want to feel that, always make sure to prepare before you get into something. And that way your mind will thank you for it and you'll feel more confident in the task that you're about to perform. The second emotion is hurt. And what your brain is basically telling you when you feel hurt is that you have an expectation that has not been met. Usually this happens when we have expectations that are way too high and we can't really reach those expectations. For example, you're in a relationship with someone, you've only known them for a few months and you already expect to be married to this person just because things are going so well and they end up breaking up with you or marrying someone else. You feel hurt because that expectation was not met. Another example, you are going for a job interview, you nailed it, and the people who interview you during that job interview give you confidence that you've definitely got this job. 2-3 weeks later, you don't receive a call and you don't get that job. So next time you feel hurt, just try to analyze the situation, analyze what is going on at that current point in time, and try to think, what is it that I expected to happen that didn't happen? That way you will know exactly why you are hurting, and that way you'll be able to heal properly because you can't heal what you don't know. The third emotion is anger, and basically what your brain is trying to tell you is that you have a rule that has been violated. Perfect example for me is I do not like to be kept waiting. So if I agree to meet with someone at 2 p.m. for example, it has to be 2 p.m. The fourth emotion is frustration. And what your brain here is trying to tell you is that what you're doing isn't working. So because of that, if you want it to work, you need to change it or change the method. For example, if you're studying and you feel like what you're reading is not going into your brain and you feel like, okay, I'm never going to pass this exam, I'm never going to study. So you just have to break for a bit, take some time off, take a breather, and then get back to what you're studying. Or maybe try a different study method. If usually you study by reading, maybe next time try reading and writing notes at the same time so that it helps you remember better. Frustration is not a good feeling. So, fifth emotion is disappointment. And what your brain is telling you here is that you're probably holding on to something that's causing you to feel that disappointment. And because of that, you should probably let go of it and focus on something else. For example, you can feel disappointed when a friend of yours betrays you and you've been friends for a very long time, so you don't know what to do because you still want to be their friend, but you really don't like what they did. And so you're confused. What do I do? Should I let go of this friend? That's one option. You can let go of that friend, or you can just accept what they did but reposition them in your life. You can also be disappointed in yourself. Maybe you wanted to do a certain task and then you find that you didn't achieve what you wanted to because your expectations were too high. So you have to be fair on yourself. Forgive yourself, accept that mistakes happen, and then move on from there. The next emotion is guilt. Now, unlike anger, where you feel angry because someone else violated your rule, Guilt is when you violate your own standard. So for example, you're trying to quit drinking and you say, okay, I'm going to give myself 3 months to completely stop drinking alcohol. But then you find that a week passes and you're already back to drinking alcohol. Guilt is when you violate a standard that you've set for yourself and you feel bad because you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve. You broke your own rule. Instead of telling yourself, okay, I'm going to quit drinking alcohol completely, just try to reduce your expectations a little and say, okay, instead of stopping alcohol completely, I will reduce how much I drink. For example, I will only drink on special occasions, or maybe I will drink once every 2 weeks or something. As long as it's something that you know that you can achieve, and that way you won't have expectations that are too high, such that when you don't reach them, you end up feeling guilty every time. The next emotion is depression. Now, this is something that's quite common, but a lot of people don't talk about it because some people are ashamed or some people just simply don't want to talk about it. When you feel depressed, it's simply your brain telling you that you are doing too much and you're not seeing any results. A lot of times we get overwhelmed by what's happening in our lives, or when we're doing too many tasks at once and we can't seem to focus and we end up not achieving the results that we're looking for. That's when we get into a state of depression. So to get out of that state, you really just have to reprioritize, maybe make a list and find out what exactly do I need to do first before I get to the next task, and only go to the next task when you finish the first one. Because if you end up trying to do too many things at once, you feel overwhelmed and then depression creeps in. The next and final emotion is inadequacy. Most times you feel inadequate when you feel like you're not worth it or you feel like you don't belong. And this usually happens when you have set standards that are way too high to achieve. And once you don't reach those standards, then you end up feeling inadequate because you feel like you're worthless or you're not good enough. What your brain is trying to tell you when you feel inadequate is that you have standards that are way too high and you need to lower those standards. Now, I know a lot of you may be thinking like, no, I can't lower my standards. I have this ideal and I want to get to that ideal. But if you can't reach those standards and you end up feeling inadequate, are you really being fair on yourself? No. So at the end of the day, just think realistically, don't punish yourself. And that's how you can avoid feeling inadequate. And that's it from me. So I'm curious to know, which of these emotions did you not know the meaning of? Do let me know in the comment section below. Also, tell me what other emotions I may have missed out and what they mean. I would love to find out. Till next time, take care of yourself and your emotions.